And whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Sometimes in life, we go through phases where we may want more of something, but God has told us we already have all that we need. And this may upset us, but we have to remember to trust in God and know He will always provide for us. Hebrews 13 verse 5 says, "Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, 'Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you.'" God always wants us to put our trust in Him and to stay happy and content with our lives and everything that He has blessed us with, for He will never stop providing for us for our daily needs. Being happy and content is very important in our lives, because sometimes we go through struggles where we don't want to trust in God, but we have to know that we have to put our trust in God, because He will, like He said, He will never stop providing for us. I picked this verse not only because it's my confirmation verse, but I also picked it because whenever I'm worrying about what I have, or if I'm upset with what God has given me, I have to know that I need to put my trust in Him, because He will never stop blessing me with all that I have. God has always says to be happy and content. And He also has said, like I read in my main verse, that He never leaves us and He will never forsake us. Now that after talking about my main verse, I'll be explaining more about where Hebrews came from and where it is written. Hebrews was written when the Emperor Nero persecuted Christians in the year 64 AD, and it was written mainly for Christians and Jewish Christians in the Roman Empire. It was said Clement was the first one to quote Hebrews in 97 AD. It also said that no one really knew who was the writer of Hebrews, but they did say that he learned from a prime minister Jesus sent down himself, like in person. And it also says that out of all the books, Hebrews is the one that's the most well polished and has a very good flow, and it's really easy to understand. Jumping away from Hebrews, we are now going to take a look at a different verse that points back to my main verse. 1 Timothy 6:7 is my first cross reference. "For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it." This, my first cross verse talks about how we have not brought anything in here, and God has given us everything here, and that we need to always make sure that we trust in Him. And this also points back to my main theme, because God gives us everything, and He will always provide, and He also wants us to stay content, like I said in my first main verse. And He will never give us more that we need, because He knows exactly what we need and how we should be content, and He shows us that through our life. And then I also have a second cross-reference verse that relates back to my main theme, and that is Philippians 4 verse 11. "I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances." This says wherever we are in life or whatever we have, we are always to stay content, because that's just how God has told us to live our lives. And that also points back to my main verse, because like I said, He never leaves us or forsakes us. He also will always look after us, and He never wants us to worry about what others have, because we may not have, someone might have something that you don't have, but that's not what God wants you to think. That's not the mindset He wants you to have. And my last cross-reference verse has to do with worrying and how we should rely on God for everything. That is Matthew 6:25. "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes?" This says, telling us to not fear about if we don't have something right away, because He will, like I've been saying, He will always provide for us, and we are to always put our trust in God. And this points back to my main verse as well, because He says, "Don't worry, be happy." I also had a short story picked out from the Bible to help better strengthen my theme, and that is Luke 12:13-21. It talks about a man in a crowd who God told him not to be greedy, and God tells him a parable about a rich man who tore down all his barns to make bigger ones so he could store all his crops in. And his mindset was thinking if he stored all his crops in the barns, he could take life easy. But God called him a fool for not putting his trust in Him and not giving all his riches to Him. And the moral of the story is to not be greedy and not to have a mindset of money, money, money. You always want to pray and always know that God will always be there for you. Not only can this apply to believers, but it can also be applied to non-believers as well. It can be applied to us as believers, like we know not to worry because God will always provide, and He has never stopped providing for us. If you think about all the activities we have and all the things that we have, and how much love He has shown for us, and you can find that in the Bible or anywhere, and just knowing that He's always there for you is kind of comforting for me, and I hope it's comforting for you guys too. And this can be applied to non-believers because you can find contentment in friends and family because they love you and they care for you, and they never will stop loving you. And as you can see, I give you a handout, and it kind of shows you briefly, tells you what 12 people do differently, like happy people do differently. And after you have looked at your handout, I also have a visual aid from the movie Trolls, and it is directed by Mike Mitchell and Walt Lawrence.
They're alive, Branch. You know it.
You don't know anything, Mom. And I can't wait to see the look on your face when you realize the world isn't all cupcakes and rainbows. Because it isn't.
Hey, I know it's not all cupcakes and rainbows, but I'd rather go through life thinking that it mostly is instead of being like you. You don't sing, you don't dance, so gray all the time. What?
Okay, as you saw in the video, it shows you that one of the trolls was really not happy and content, but the other one was, and he was telling her that life is all about cupcakes and rainbows, but she would like to think that it is. And as I told you in the beginning of my speech, we all go through phases where we may not want more of something, but God has told us we already have all that we need. We need to remember that God will never leave us or forsake us. God always wants us to put our trust in Him and to stay happy and content with our lives.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you.